Alrighty trainers, TaeganAdventures here. So, Suicune would make a splash in Tier 5 raids in Pokemon Go with its brethren Entei and Raikou. Now I've just made two videos on the legendary beasts here, Entei and Raikou, but this video will deal with how to counter Suicune and how you might want to use it in PvP. Spoiler alert, it isn't fantastic. But anyway, let's dive right into this video. Pun intended. The first thing we need to know is Suicune's base stats and move pool. Suicune is a very tanky Pokemon here at base 225 HP, base 180 attack, and base 235 defense. At the moment, Suicune gets Extra Sensory and Snarl as coverage fast moves, and Hydro Pump, Bubble Beam, Water Pulse, and Ice Beam as charge moves. Ice Beam being very notable because Suicune is a pure water type, meaning that it's weak to grass and electric types, so Ice Beam would cover for its grass type weakness. Since Suicune is weak to grass and electric type attacks, you would want to use your grass and electric type Pokemon in on a Suicune when you want to counter a Suicune in Tier 5 raids in Pokemon Go. Of course, we have the king of the electric types, Raikou. I just made a video on Raikou. Raikou is the premier electric type Pokemon in Pokemon Go. Behind that is Magnezone, Zapdos, Electivire, and Luxray with their respective movesets I will list on screen. You can see that they all do very similar DPS here with their movesets, especially with Magnezone's Spark and Wild Charge being pretty much identical to Raikou's Thundershock Wild Charge, despite having the lower attack 185 on Magnezone, 187 on Raikou. That's assuming they both are level 30 in max attack IVs. Electivire coming out way out there at a 17.91, way above Raikou and Magnezone's best DPS movesets. So Electivire are definitely very good in terms of DPS, but like I said in the Raikou video I did earlier, it doesn't have very good TDO, so Raikou and Magnezone are probably your best bets if you want to go for the TDO here. Now in terms of grass types, we do have a lot of options here, but they will take super effective damage from either the Extra Sensory or the Ice Beam, so definitely use them with caution here, because some of them are indeed glass cannons. If you want to go more offensive, Roserade and Sceptile are your best bets, but these are very glassy. Use them with extreme caution because Roserade is weak to Extra Sensory and Ice Beam, Sceptile is weak to Ice Beam, so use them with caution here. Razor Leaf and Solar Beam on Roserade. Although Solar Beam is a very long duration charge move, it takes very long to fire off and a very long time to charge as well, so you might want to opt for Grass Knot on your Roserade instead. Fury Cutter, Frenzy Plant, or Bullet Seed Frenzy Plant on your Sceptile is a very good moveset, definitely an upgrade from Leaf Blade, I would say. Now if you want to go for the more tanky route, I would suggest using a Venusaur, Leafeon, or a Tangrowth. These are all very tanky Pokemon, lower DPS but slightly higher TDO than a Roserade or a Sceptile. Definitely check out Venusaur with its Frenzy Plant moveset. It's going to dish out really reliable DPS, but Venusaur being part Poison type takes super effective from Extra Sensory. Like I mentioned, all grass types take super effective from Ice Beam, so you'll want to use your grass types and Zapdos as well with caution, because Zapdos is part Flying type and takes super effective from Ice Beam. Now moving on very quickly to Suicune's battle prowess here. Unfortunately, Suicune isn't that great of a battle guy. I know he's tanky, but because of his attack stat being so low, he doesn't have very good DPS here. He doesn't even rank top 20 in terms of water type DPS, and in terms of TDO, he is not great either. He is strongly outclassed by his fellow water type attackers like Swampert, like Palkia, like Kyogre. Kyogre is a pretty tanky boy himself. For more details, I recommend checking out this video here by the Trainer Club, where he goes into detail about all the water type attackers in Pokemon Go. In summary, Suicune is not a premier water type DPS machine. You're better off using a Gyarados or a Swampert or a Kyogre even for your water type DPS machine. But in the Great League though, Snarl and Extra Sensory provide two very good coverage options for the Fighting, Psychic, or the Ghost types if you're ever facing against them. Great League Suicune can be an option, although it does not have a water type fast move at the moment, so you might want to hold off on powering up your Suicunes. If you ever want to use them in Great League, you might want to wait for a water type fast move to be dropped on Suicune. If not, Extra Sensory and Snarl are pretty good coverage options. Never ever use a Suicune in raids or in gyms. Suicune's only value comes in PvP if you manage to get one from your research breakthrough box with high HP and defense IVs. You can definitely use that in Great League, but if you get 8. So overall, Suicune is a pretty horrible water type attacker in gyms and in raids, but I can see it being a pretty good pick in PvP, especially in the Ultra League where you're most likely to get a Suicune with a CP of about 2,500 or less. So yeah, pretty short video because Suicune is a lackluster water type here. So yeah, I'll be seeing you in the next video. I'm going to be signing off right now. This has been TaeganAdventures, and I will be seeing you in the next video. Peace out.